Yo, what's going on, guys? Hopefully, you guys are having a good Tuesday. Hopefully, it's a happy Tuesday. And we're going to talk about boxing, but we're still going to focus and start out by talking about Ryan Garcia. I understand what Ryan Garcia is going through, you know, and the worst thing that his parents and his loved ones can do is try to take him to go see a psychologist. I mean, I guess you can take him there, but I wouldn't try to medicate Ryan. Honestly, all he needs is a really good conversation with a lot of people that are educated, right? Because if he's opening a lines of dialogues, right, he doesn't really know how to interpret the information that he's discovered, right? And what he's discovering is some perversions of man, the peccadillos of people. A lot of this time, they're their insecurities. It's the Charles Mansons, it's the Jim Jones conspiracies. It's like when you first watched that documentary on HBO called Mea Culpa, where they talk about the Catholic Church and how their priests were doing certain acts, and how the Vatican and company, they basically try to mask and hide these truths, right? So when you find yourself in this scope, in this range of information, it's a hard pill to swallow, right? And Ryan is not in the wrong, but how you go about interpreting the information, how you go about talking about this information, you deviate from the subjects at hand, and people start to worry about you. You know, it's like when you first go to college and you take that history class, right? And you're reading books like People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn, and you read about Noam Chomsky's Manufacturing Consent, Kurt Vonnegut books, and Plato and the Symposium, and you're on this rabbit hole finding the truth, reading nonfiction and philosophy, and you see these crimes against humanity, and you're like, man, the Native Americans gave so much to Christopher Columbus and the Spaniards, and how can they convert them, and how can they destroy them to the point of all these, like, not only crimes against humanity, but genocidal acts. And you go through this rebellious stage and this phase, and you have these conversations with your parents or whatever the case may be, and you start sounding like a madman, and you almost casting blame and hurt upon the people that you love. And that's where Ryan Garcia finds himself doing, right? Is that he found upon himself a lot of information, and he doesn't really know how to interpret. And he wants people to talk about it. He wants people to talk to him about it. Like, bro, just take a deep breath and understand that don't make yourself out to be a pariah, and don't try to take the whole world's burden on your shoulders. You aren't responsible for that person that did that crime or the atrocities. But that's where Ryan finds himself, right? And he starts to cast aspersions and blame on the elites. But my brother, you are an elite. Like, you are in part of the 1% that can engage in certain acts and do certain things with your influence and your popularity and your monetary gain that you've obtained. And yes, you could lose your mind, but Ryan, I don't think he's lost it, right? Like I stated, it's like when you go and you start reading all these books, it's a self of discovery, right? Or you can lose yourself in this amount of information. You really can. And the worst thing that he can do is essentially say, oh, I was hacked, or I'm trolling. That's the worst thing that he can do. Because again, we know a lot of people. You might have been this person yourself. And when you come upon this certain information, you do feel betrayed. You do feel a sense of disgust, and you think that you're like exposing certain people, but this information has been accessible since, I don't know, the times of the Greeks. I think in the book, the Symposium, right? Or that chapter, I think it's like chapter 5 or so. Socrates is talking about certain diners that he's having with the elitists, and they're engaging in certain acts of pedophilia, right? So they've been doing these acts for such a long time, right? These people that run these cults. And in modern day age, all it is certain keywords on the search engine of Google, or if you go to the dark web and boom, oh my goodness. And you don't really know how to interpret this. I remember in high school, I was taking calculus. I think I was a junior. And my friend Memo, he had an iPhone. I didn't have no phone. And he showed me something of a beheading, some cartel stuff during class. Man, I was disgusted. And I was like, bro, why are you showing me this shit? Long story short, you have to be very careful in terms of the youth and the learning mind of exposing certain graphic images, certain stories, certain documentaries, certain films, because you will inevitably corrupt the youth. And Ryan has a huge responsibility because a lot of people that are youthful follow him, and he has to be very careful in terms of saying certain information because you are going to mentally scar this young generation. And they're going to cast you and state that you are going crazy, but in reality, he's not. But again, the lines of conversation that you open with, not only do they have to be open-minded, impartial, not judgmental, and you just have to converse with the educated. That's exactly what Ryan needs to do. And the internet, unfortunately, is not one of those places. I don't even know if I should be talking about certain topics like this, man, or showing you guys certain informations that or videos that I actually have. But I do understand and I realize why I left the internet, or a lot of people leave the internet for such a really long time, because man, some of the times, like, you guys don't deserve this certain information to be with, because you guys don't know how to interpret it. And a lot of these people, not you guys, but a lot of the people don't know how to interpret it, and they deviate. And when they deviate, the message gets misconstrued, and then there's no change that occurs, right? Ryan talks about him being in the woods and certain things happened to him. They showed him certain images. He starts talking about UFOs and aliens to downplay and the importance of these topics. They're very important, guys, right? But Ryan is not the person. He's not the messenger or the correct one to give us certain information. Again, most of you guys know about Bohemian Grove, and you know about these tragic acts that people do in cults, and it's usually people that are very rich and powerful and influential behind closed gates. You've seen the films of Stanley Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut, and any David Lynch films that he's giving you these innuendos and hints of what people are engaging, right? You might not have seen these films, but you know that people are doing a lot of crazy in the world. And then there's like guys like Ryan that are privy to such information or search online, and they kind of start losing it. They start losing their thoughts, and they're like, man, I just need to talk to somebody about this. And the message gets lost in translation, like always. And then, but yeah, you get delusions of grandeur, so to speak, and then you think you're very important, and you think you're going crazy, but you're really not, because that's not what crazy looks like and sounds like. But nevertheless, that's Ryan for you, man. Right? And for example, let me mute this. Me and my nephew, we were out in the woods, man, and we found ourselves a firefly. Look at that. Look at that gem. You guys see that glowing effect? We also found ourselves some monsters. Like, man, this is real footage in real time. Like, this is about a decade ago, but this shit happened. You see, Ryan talks about the elites, talks about aliens and monsters, but how can you tell me that a small YouTube channel like myself I actually have live video recordings. You guys have never seen this in the world. Like, dude, I have that footage. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, man. Crazy. And it's spooky, man. It spooks you. That's all I have to say when it comes down to Ryan, man. Hopefully he gets some people. He can afford a college degree. He can afford to go to school, right? And he needs to educate himself and understand that, bro. Don't put the world's burden on your shoulders, because if you do, you're going to find yourself on the edge of the Golden Gate Bridge. And honestly, I'm not saying those topics aren't important, because they are. But you are not responsible, for what the founding fathers did to the Native Americans, or why your skin looks your certain way. At the end of the time, it's just people are victims of time. And hopefully Ryan learns to not disturb his peace, because peace and your sanity and your innocence are about the three most important things in this world, alongside your family and your loved ones. But your peace and your sanity, you got to protect it. And it's tough, man. It's really tough. Especially when there's not people there really to check you. So yeah, man, you guys got to protect your peace and your sanity. And hopefully Ryan is able to find that peace. I could be wrong, but he says that he's a believer of Jesus, but not religion. I don't know. I think that's like it's an oxymoron, isn't it? I could be wrong. I mean, I guess maybe there's a denomination or derivative of one another, but I thought they were one and the same. But yeah, no, Ryan is just he's not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't believe so at all. I think like I said, he embarked on a lot of information, doesn't know how to interpret it, and is talking about these things that do need to be talked about. But nevertheless, man, you have to protect your peace, your sanity, and your innocence for as long as you can, because there are real problems in the world. I'm not saying those topics aren't real and they're not problematic. But what I'm saying is how Ryan is going about risking his look towards the public and the masses. It is very dangerous. And I don't think he is honest and truthful enough to be the person to be at the forefront of these topic of conversations. In fact, I don't believe any person that he's around, his mom, dad, brother, girlfriends, whatever the case may be, they're not smart enough, right? And these topics don't need to be like, oh man, don't talk about this. Don't, shh. Nah, man. It's okay to talk about it, but you have to know and you have to be smart enough to how to approach certain topics. Anyway, man, it's a beautiful aerial spaceship right there. Not supposed to say this, man, but you can find it in Toro Park, California. Just keep it on the low, man. Fucking alien spaceship. It's real, man. I mean, it's footage. I showed you guys the steps of evolution right there. 10 years in the making, guys. War Speed, salute to you, brother. Good evening, Father, homie Ricky. Protection, peace, and sanity. I love it. Absolutely, man. Those are the biggest three things that I can state that you should got to protect your innocence in this Western propaganda world of perversion. You see, man is a pervert. We know this. It started with Adam and Eve. Like, bro, how disgusting could you be to rip out your own rib and create a female? It's gnarly, man. Is it a parable? Am I supposed to take it literally? Like, man, you guys ever seen that ending speech of Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves? I think it was Charlize Theron, the female. And there's this epic monologue of Al Pacino talking to Keanu Reeves. You guys got to watch that film. It's crazy. It's basically what Ryan Garcia is going through. But nevertheless, man, I'm done talking about that topic. Let's talk about some real boxing. Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting Francis Ngannou. It's a pretty good fight, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's a really good fight. I'm very interested in that fight. I think Francis Ngannou can beat him. I don't know that he will, because I think that Anthony Joshua is a better boxer than Tyson Fury. Now, that goes without saying. Like, come on, guys. Tyson Fury, nah. Anthony Joshua will knock out Tyson Fury. Okay. I just believe that Anthony Joshua has fought in the better competition. He's got the better resume. Overall, he's the more professional of the two. And Anthony Joshua would destroy Tyson Fury. I think Anthony Joshua is also going to destroy Francis Ngannou. But I will say this, Francis Ngannou naturally is an amazing, superior fighter than Anthony Joshua. I don't know about a boxer, but he's definitely the superior fighter. And when you know how to fight in general, when you have an innate ability to have great timing, understand positioning, leverage, and interpret body language and situational awareness like Francis Ngannou does, he can soak up the sport of boxing and implement it relatively well and have a lot of success. In fact, more so than guys that have been doing it for the majority of their life, right? Because the way we go about building boxers and fighters, it's kind of backwards, right? Boxing is very traditional, very old school. But nevertheless, if you can build an athlete, or you got like an athletic body, then I can teach you how to box. But if you can't do certain movements and you're not athletic, then you better have heart and grit and toughness. Because if you can't do certain things, it's going to be very difficult, right? Like, for example, you would think that Deontay Wilder is very athletic, but in reality, he's not. He's very stiff. He doesn't have really good footwork or dexterity. He just has one punch. He's a fighter in heart, but he's not athletic. And ultimately, he's not a good boxer, right? He's just lengthy. He's goofy, right? Tyson Fury, on the contrary, this guy's a really good boxer and he's very tough. And he's actually very athletic for his size, like in terms of how he goes about having those skinny ass Bambi legs and being like 500 pounds above the waist. It's crazy. Like, damn, bro, like in a couple of years, you're going to have a lot of cartilage damage on your knees, bro. Like, be like Pacquiao, have some big ass chamorros, big ass calves, and then be skinny up top, man. Like, that's the proper way to do it. But anyway, man, look, deviating. There's amazing fights this Saturday, starting with Israel Madrimov, and he's going to be fighting this Russian guy named Kurbanov. Israel should knock him out. He should win. That dude Kurbanov sucks. That's all I have to say. That dude's garbage. Like, I don't know how he got to 25-0. He didn't beat Liam Smith. And after watching that fight, I was like, nah, dude, like, you got lucky that Liam Smith went over to Russia and fought you there. But nevertheless, Madrimov should get the job done. He should knock him out. My biggest problem with Madrimov is he has this lazy-ass Philly shell style, and his lead hand is always, like, touching his kneecap. It's like, bro, like, stop jabbing to the body and jab these dudes to the face. I don't know. I don't really like his style. But it should be more than enough to beat the rudimentary Kurbanov. There's other fights on the undercard as well, like Joseph Parker versus Big Bang Zhang. It's a very interesting, a very good fight. I think Joseph Parker pulls it off, man. I was extremely impressed how he was able to maintain focus to stay out of Deontay Wilder's range. And he knew when to come in and step out at the perfect time. Yeah, I know Wilder was inactive for X amount of time and off a year layoff and whatever the case may be, but Joseph Parker really exposed him. And I was like, man, bro, if you do this against Big Bang Zhang, you got a chance, bro. Make it boring. Don't go toe-to-toe with him. If you do, you're going to get knocked out. Zhang's got the power. He ain't 6'7" or 6'9" with 300 pounds for no reason. That dude has Andy Ruiz like punches. Very beautiful combinations, beautifully great technique, beautiful punch rotation of the fist. He's nice. So check him out, man. I know he's like 39, 40 years old, but you guys really got to watch that, man. Now, honestly, I like to keep these lives short, man. So I'm actually pretty much done. You know, I don't really have much else to offer, man. That's it. Other than like, hopefully you guys are having a happy Tuesday, man. That's it. And keep your sanity intact. Just to stay on here just for a little bit longer, maybe like 5 more minutes. If Canelo were to have an easy fight on Cinco de Mayo, but he's waiting for the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev so he can fight them later on in the year, would you guys give him a pass for having an easy touch-up on Cinco de Mayo? Let's say he doesn't fight Berlanga, Jaime Munguia. He fights none of those guys. Let's say he fights some dude and knocks him out in 3 rounds or 7 rounds. He kind of carries them over just so he can have a knockout reel, just to have some momentum before he goes up to 175 and bangs out with them heavyweights damn near, right? Because, you know, Bivol and Beterbiev, they're going to rehydrate past 200 pounds. And if he were to fight an easy touch on Cinco de Mayo, I mean, that's forgivable, right? Because guys like Juan Manuel Marquez, who I have a lot of respect for, they told us that Canelo first had to fight guys like Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, Andrade, and company. And then once Canelo does fight these dudes, now he goes on to the next thing, and that's David Benavidez. Like, bro, in what world, like Canelo has said, like, these motherfuckers nunca están contentos. Like, I fought Bivol. Nobody of these dudes would fight Bivol. I fought him, and I lost. It's almost like they want Canelo to get knocked out. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't even think Canelo's been dropped once. I know he was put on skates, and he had the chicken dance across the ring against Jose Cotto, Miguel Cotto's older brother. But we just got to give credit to Canelo, man, for honestly just being a badass, bro. You know, I am a big fan of Canelo, but again, I criticize him. But if the picture I play was he's waiting to see who the winner is between Bivol and Beterbiev, and he's going to fight him, let's say, in October, I don't care who you fight on Cinco de Mayo. Go knock out Jamal Charlo. You know, go hurt the heart and soul of, you know, these Tejanos. You know what I mean? While you're at it, just tell Errol Spence to move over. You can knock him out too, bro. You know, take those dentures out of his mouth, bro, because why not, you know? If you're going to give us the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev next, like, I'm okay with that, bro. In fact, go knock out Virgil Ortiz. Like, I'm not tripping, bro. You know? But as long as you give us that badass fight later towards the year so you can chase greatness and another shot of undisputed and make history, right? Like, that would be fantastic. Like, I'd be like, damn, bro, I'll be okay with that, you know? To be honest with you, Canelo, like, you should call out Paulie Malignaggi, and everybody that shits on your name, just call him out and fight him and be like, yeah, bro, I am going to do exhibitions because you know what? You guys aren't worthy and deserving of these amazing fights that I've been giving you, right? You guys want more and more and more, and it's fine. I understand. But if I'm Canelo, I'm calling out Paulie Malignaggi, I'm calling out Juan Manuel Marquez, and I'm going to be like, you know what, guys? You guys like to talk a lot about me. Well, let me see what your fist can do. And I'm gonna shut you guys' mouths. That's the type of demon time that I would be with Canelo. Like, if I'm Canelo, that's what I'm doing. I'm calling out Errol Spence. I'm knocking him out. I move Bud Crawford up 30 pounds. I'm knocking him out. Keith Thurman, you feel some type of way? I'm knocking you out. I'll knock out Marquez too. I'll knock out Paulie Malignaggi. The slander of Canelo has to stop. Like, it's a little ridiculous. Like, this dude did what we wished Andre Ward do, and that was to fight Triple G. We asked Triple G to move up and fight these dudes or move down. Canelo's the only one doing that. But yet these people love Triple G more than they do Canelo. The stupidity of the boxing fan. I hate boxing fans, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like, bro, disgusting, bro. I don't know, with the promoters like Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman and Oscar De La Hoya, You guys are horrible for the sport. I respect what you guys have done, but they're the problem, man. And the worst part is the fans. I hate these boxing fans. The hardcore is extremely, like, extreme, man. Like, horrible, man. Horrible. But anyway, yeah, if I was Canelo, that's who I would be fighting, bro. Just soft touches. I would go fight Jake Paul and just be like, you know what, dude? Sayonara. You guys didn't give me no credit when I beat Callum Smith. You guys didn't give me no credit when I beat and knocked out Billy Joe Saunders and made him quit. When he was talking all that greasy shit about me being a redhead minge and all of these things and how I'm a drug cheat. And Canelo should criticize Eddie Hearn too, because many years ago, Eddie Hearn was like, oh, Canelo needs to be suspended for life. He needs to, oh man, it's disgusting. He should be banned for life. But here's the same two-faced snake in Eddie Hearn, who apparently to you guys is cute. Oh man, you know, Dylan White versus Wilder, he needs to fight. Horrible. And no one ever asks Eddie Hearn these questions. The media, man, I'm frustrated with these people, man. That's why I hate boxing sometimes. El Pachuco, saludos, bro. He goes, my only criticism of Canelo is that he is keeping the PBC alive. Yeah, I agree. I say Canelo should walk away and let them sink on their own. Don't try to save Amazon Prime. Don't try to establish them as a network. Build your own network. Go fight on Univision or TV Azteca and sign all the Mexican fighters that you can. Hey, Venado Lopez, Emmanuel Navarrete, every single one of you guys. If you guys want to earn with me properly and you guys want to build the greatest sport that we know that we can sell out in Azteca Stadium, just sign under my Canelo Promotions. That's what Canelo should do. Since he's all about unity and Latinos being united, that's what he should do. Sign all of those fighters and take out Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, because Canelo is superior to all of these guys. That's the reality. It's disgusting how PBC stole all those fighters from Golden Boy and did what they did to Showtime and every single one of those networks and fighters. The level of inactivity to starve these fighters and their families. It's disgusting. It's horrible. But hey, you know what? As long as we shout out Al Haymon, everything will be okay. What a joke, dude. That's what your people can do to you, you know what I mean? It's really your people that really are the ones that hurt you the most or can stab you in the back, right? Because you know where your enemies stand. It's logical why they would do that. But the ones that you call family, woo, and you got to be careful with those, man. They hurt the most. El Pachuco goes, exactly, man. Little Canelo went up to 175 to fight one of the best in the division, but he is afraid of Benavides. It's absurd. It's crazy. Drew123 goes, I'm calling out Juan Manuel Marquez. Te voy a noquear, Oscar De La Hoya. He about to fight Munguia soon. 95% done. Yeah, that would be nice, man. I mean, that's a really good fight. But honestly, like, I don't really care who Canelo fights, to be honest with you. You know, I feel like it's not that he's earned his right. No, if you're going to be a champion and you're going to have all 4 or 5 belts, the ring, lineal, WBC, IBO, IBF, WBA, WBO, if you're going to have all these 7 titles that exist in the sport of boxing, like, just fight these dudes, you know, and hurt them bad. Demoralize the people. Like, you should go demoralize the Bud Crawford fans, you know, and go demoralize Bud Crawford himself for thinking that he can even test your chin and your abilities. Like, demoralize these guys and let them know, like, this is why I'm able to do what I can do at being 5'7", and you guys are taller, because you guys are great fighters. I can fluctuate and move around all these weight classes and fight all these undefeated fighters and damn near knock them out. When you guys are fighting dudes that are getting off car wrecks and like to drink and party with 10 other dudes shirtless and no women involved. That's what I love about Canelo Alvarez, man. And honestly, that's why I have a lot of respect for Floyd Mayweather. It's because consummate professionals. That doesn't mean I agree with every single one of their acts or what they do. But when it comes down to the sport of boxing, Floyd Mayweather nor Canelo, they don't fuck around. El Pachuco goes, Eddie Reynoso said in Un Round Más interview that he gave promoting a shot, but he was heavily discouraged by the politics in boxing. Eddie Reynoso said in Un Round Más interview that he gave promoting a shot. Oh, so he tried to become a promoter, a shot, but he was heavily discouraged by the politics in boxing. Got you. Yeah, man, it is not easy to be a promoter or enter any business with honest and true intentions. It's very difficult because when we talked about the preface of the video was to keep and to protect your peace and your sanity and your innocence. When you are exposed and revealed the great curtain, you witnessed how the certain events are created. When you think and you have this innocent look, oh man, I want to make movies, right? I want to make movies. And then you realize that everything is all green screen or miniature figures. And you're like, what? You're shocked. You're like, what the hell? I like, man. And you're perplexed. And you're like, dude, this is disgusting. Yeah, man. That's exactly what happens, man. Like, it is shocking. So, and you would think that Eddie Reynoso would have all the answers because he's with Canelo Alvarez, you know? Now, I think I might have seen that interview, actually. And I think this one might have been before he met Eddie Reynoso. Shit, I don't remember, but I remember watching that interview, and he did talk about that. But yeah, man, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. You have to invest a lot of money, and you have to, I don't care how professional you are, right? When you're dealing with people are very peculiar. They're very erratic. It's not like making a sandwich and punching in numbers in a calculator and making a spreadsheet. Those type of information you can control. But human intention and behavior, and you're relying on people, man, that's a glass home. Knowing that all of these guys have coins and rocks in their pockets. Bro! That's a glass house willing to fall. House of cards situation. Yeah, no, man. It's I feel sorry for these promoters that try to go in there with honest intentions, right? Because money talks. Like, as we know, money corrupts and money perverts, or it could be, and it's a simple paper, right? It's a means of exchange. But yeah, man, you know, imagine if Ryan Garcia found out the truth behind money and the Rothschilds. Oh my goodness, bro. If he just found himself a little bit of Bohemian Grove and he found himself on, I don't know, like, dude, this dude would lose his sanity. And that's exactly like, no drugs need to be involved when you're just blowing your brain back with heavy dose of information. Drew goes, yeah, they got to know what to say too. Drew 1, 2, 3, without feeling biased. Bro, the whip looks nice. The bug. Shit. Damn, that's a homie Ricky review, man. Don't review my home, dog. Nah, appreciate it, bro. Yeah, man, it's come a long ways. We built some really nice interior, stitched some really nice interior to it. Painted the home, painted a lot of things. Cars primed, pretty much ready to put the candy, brandy wine to it. Man, it's a lot of investment, but little by little, a lot of progress being made. But I'm still broke, man. Sometimes you just feel like, fuck it, sell this stuff. But then you got to respect the time that, the founding fathers put into your vehicles, right? Your other brothers and your father, and it's a group project and it's a collective. It's one of those things that you can feel pride and honor that you're like, damn, dude, we actually built this shit when it was from scratch. Y todo fregado, and you're like, damn, we really made this happen. I can take a lot of pride in that, rather than just buying a new vehicle, which I probably should have done. But again, the fact that you can build a home or repaint it, or same thing with a car, and just keep old relics and make them or try to modernize them, like, respects, But yeah, I appreciate that, Drew. Yeah, hopefully one day, man. Maybe this year I'll get it running. Got a couple of things that I need to do with but little by little, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with El Camino. It's been a little bit of a cluster, you know. But it is what it is. Let me see if Drew and no, Drew and Speed are not on here. Warp Speed goes, El Pachuco and at Drew123. Good evening, fall gents. Always a pleasure. I probably will give you guys a break today as I have to vote. Yeah, man, I should have gone vote at the church today. There's a little podium and a little voting booth and poll that I could have done. But I got to study up the books, man, because I can't just vote for these people that don't really have the best interest at heart. You know, I guess this is a great time to speak a little bit of politics. We as Americans and our representatives, man, we got to do better, man. We got to do better. That's all I got to say. Like, we just got to do better in every single aspect in life. We got to hold ourselves to a higher standard. Education has to be enforced and be much more difficult. Like, we have to strip everything that we think we know and just start from scratch. That's just kind of like the type of time that I'm on, man. Like, when I look at the the formula and the educational system, man, they really dumbed it down even more so, right? Like, why in school can't we teach our youth how to build fires, have a wild camp life? Also, like, militarize PE. Don't just put me in these funky uniforms, man. Like, bro, give these kids structure, right? Teach them how to save money. Teach them how to make money. If kids at 15 years old have great ideas, you know, and if they're willing and already capable of making money, boom, get it going, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you compare United States education system with other countries, like the level of maturity that other European countries or even down in South in Mexico, like, these kids are so advanced, fucking witty and smart without the need of technology. Like, I remember going to Mexico. I was a kid. This might have been like 18 years ago. Must have been 10 years old. And my parents had this Ford Taurus. I think we took the Ford Taurus. It was a purple one with like gray interiors, very nice. And we went down to Michoacan. And we were like past the border or so, and there was a kid on the side of the road, and my dad asked him for directions. This kid knew what we were asking, and he gave us precise, detailed GPS directions. They were like, go down this calle. If you see this road Modoc, take a left. If you see an orange building, go in there. It's going to be tight buildings. Take a right on that. Go down 1 mile. You're going to come across this building with a cross. Take a left on that, and you'll see the roundabout. It was perfect. Kid did not miss a beat. He was the same age as me, maybe even younger at 8 years old. And he knew it. Me at 10 years old, I'm like poking my nose and eating avocado sandwiches with salt. You feel me? Like, anyway, man, but it starts with the education system, man. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. You know, when I look at I mean, this is like a Californian speaking here, but when I look at like the homelessness problems, like, bro, it's really a simple solution how to help these people. Either you help them or you don't. And if you don't, it's pretty simple, you know, to pick up scat on the side of the road, right? I mean, there's this beautiful island in San Francisco called Alcatraz. I mean, I'm not saying you got to incarcerate the homeless, because you shouldn't, but it's a cheaper solution, and they live in an island. Like, throw me in Alcatraz, I'll live in that island. Feel me? Nah, man, but yeah, there's a lot of simple things that we can do, man, but we just got to do better, man. I feel like as citizens and the people that we have to vote for, if we don't vote, man, we like are failing one another. It's not just the system, it's the people and the personnel. It's a two-way street, and we just suck as a collective. There's like no orgullo to be American, bro, and that breaks my heart. But anyway, man, let me see if Drew and Speed are on here. I send you guys a link, man. Don't leave me out here because I'll end this, man. I'll end this. I got 30 minutes. 30 minutes too damn long. It's supposed to be like a 10-minute live and bounce. But yeah, man, we'll see how this this world that we live in, you know, how it starts to cater around these politicians, and hopefully they can make some change. But I'm always optimistic, man. I always love the dreamers. I always love people. I love people that try. You know, I try not to be too critical on people that try because it's tough, man. It's tough. And people that are willing to stand in the front line and risk it all, whether it's embarrassing or whether it's you should never be embarrassed chasing your dreams. You see what I'm saying? Unless you're Charles Manson, or in some cases, you know, Ryan Garcia. I'm just joking. But nevertheless, man, they should you know, especially if they have true and honest intentions to be wholesome and reinvigorate innocence, right? Man, that's somebody I can vouch for, right? But yeah, man, let me know if you guys are in the lobby. If you guys want to talk about something. Just a little recap, man. Madrimov will beat Kurbanov. I don't think that's going to be a really close competitive fight. I really wouldn't trust the Russian fighter. I don't know, man. I was watching this show called The Americans, right? It's about these Russian spies and how they try to be normal or try to represent what a normal American family looks like. And the main character and the female character, the Russian spies, and it's based on a true show. I think it's on AMC. Man, you realized the Russians have always been America's #1 enemy. The depths, the scope and range that show illustrates, and how far Russia is willing to go just to either learn American secrets. But man, bro, that's a wild show. You guys should watch it. It's great. Beautiful acting. The cinematography is on point. Beautiful color correction. Man, that show is fantastic. But yeah, it's called The Americans, and you guys should check it out. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me a second. Gotta hide my Pornhub tabs. The American drama series. Let me see. Hold on. Bear with me, fellas. Bear with me. I'm a film major, man. You know? And this show right here. Man, get the hell out of my face, you ad. The Americans. Came out in 2013. Man, sadly, it ended in 2018. IMDb gave it an 8.4 out of 10. If you guys ever want to see a great show, this is the one right here. You know, this is better than anything that Alex Jones Infowars can come up with. Like, this is fantastic. Oh man, I'm gonna get copyrighted. Probably terminated. Not supposed to show content that ain't mine. It's not efficient. But check this out. Kerry Russell, Elizabeth in the show, and Matthew Rhines. They play the American family, but they're really undercover Russian spies. I'm not going to go into details of the show. That's obviously we'll find out in the first 5 minutes. That's a must-watch show. My goodness. Probably the best thing that you guys will ever see. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I guess it's perfection. There's only like a few shows that are perfect, right? This one, True Detective Season 1, The Sopranos, The Wire, Mad Men. I mean, Speed is a big fan of old boy from Malcolm in the Middle, Breaking Bad, X-Files, right? Like, these things are like well written, acted to the point. Well, got to add this show in there, The Americans, right? Yeah, man. Man, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think Speed and Drew are gonna hop on. If they want to talk about something else, I can make a quick thumbnail for them. But yeah, man. Pachuco, like always, thank you guys for tuning in. Speed, Drew, appreciate you guys, man. I don't really got much else to say. I wanted to keep it kind of short. I'm really excited. Question for you guys. Oh, he goes, I gotta vote, man. Gotta tuck my shirt in and crease my dickies to look presentable for my country. I cannot hop on. Damn. Did you have to really include that exclamation mark? Nah, man. Salute to you, bro. Absolutely. You know, you got to do the good American deed and go out there and vote. But on that note, fellas, have a good day. Have a happy Tuesday. And remember, my friends, everything is going to be okay.